here's where the wood starts. And the wood shed.
You guys are getting an exclusive tour here of Bryant Guitars. And this is the master creator himself. This is Don Bryant.
Hey, here's some of the KOA that I use. Not all. And then this is the mahogany from the Hilton Hawaiian Village, all that.
So which one came from the Hilton Hawaiian Village?
This here, right here. All of this, well, this is pine,
Okay.
but these planks
Oh my gosh.
are from the Hilton.
So those are from the doors that had the stained glass in them, and you made the neck of the guitar.
And the
From-
body of your guitar with this, all of this stuff right here. See the stain? This is the doors. I still have more left for next. Yeah.
Amazing.
That's how I recycle.
Bringing home some of the Hilton Hawaiian Village. We're just going to do a quick overview of what it's like and how he's going to build an electric guitar, one of his custom boutique guitars. Go ahead, Don.
Basically, we just take a chunk of mahogany, quickly machine in both sides here, so that we can clamp it down into the machine. Make these little custom clamps fit in here, and we bolt them down. Holds the block of wood, and the machine does most of the work. We just program the machine to machine out the body of the guitar, both sides, top and back. I'm going to show you. I actually get a virtual machining on that, and I make sure that it virtually does that. So we're going to preview visible toolpath. There you go. That's now my machine's cutting that. See it?
Yep.
So there's your pocket for your humbucker, but I have to draw it out. I have to measure it and draw it all out. So it's just geometry. That's how I do it. That's doing a profile. That's the final machining process is the profile.
And that's what controls this machine here to cut it out of this piece of wood.
Yeah. So it's a numerical controlled router, basically. So it's still cutting a profile. I got 28 passes, so I get a really thin pass every time,
Right.
so it doesn't blow out or chip out any of the wood. That's why it's taking a while, but I can speed this up real quick by doing this. Now let's do this. Watch this. Preview visible toolpath. So you're going to start from the beginning. And it's going to make a guitar. These are all the toolpaths that I designed and put in to make it. So the nice thing is I can watch it virtual before I machine it to make sure I got everything right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
So there's your guitar.
Look at that. Cut out, done.
Done. All you do now is glue the top on. So I'll show you the back side real quick.
Okay.
There's your back side. Here's your relief that I put in here.
Right.
Here's for your electrical pocket, and here's the islands that I drew out and put in there. So let's go over here and I'll just put that in and we'll review all of these real quick. Calculate and ready. Let's slow it down a little bit. There you go. That's how I do the back.
And it goes in and draws it out.
Machines it. That's
That's
virtual,
the machine
but
actually
before I
doing it,
actually
right.
do it. Now I'm ready to push the button once I make sure everything looks good.
So it's just setting it up right now, and then the machine will actually go in and replicate everything
Exactly.
that it's doing on the screen.
And then I can check the depth and look at, you know what I mean? So I can move that around. And then after it's done, and it looks like this.
Wow.
Basically. So we ended up machining the slots for the wires, the humbucker pickups, the neck slot. Went ahead and machined this, the inlay, the control box where you can see the wires go through. And we go to the neck. These are basically the two pieces of wood that I start with. Ends up something like this after it's glued and cut. And this piece here is basically a piece of KOA. So we laminate that on the top. Cut the slot for the truss rod. And then it goes back onto the machine. and basically looks like this. And then there's a lot of sanding to finish this up. We put the truss rod in, we glue the board on. That goes this way. We basically glue the board on, we put the nut on, we trim it, put the frets on, and you got a neck.
Nice. So tell a story you were telling me about. The piece of mine is mahogany base with mahogany neck.
Yeah.
And the KOA wood top on the body, and then the neck, the fretboard over there. What is that? You were telling me it's a Brazilian.
This one is rosewood.
Oh, that's rosewood.
Yeah.
But on the one you made for me, what's the?
It's Ipe.
That's right, Ipe.
Ipe, and it's a Brazilian walnut, and it's one of the hardest woods in the world, and it's super oily.
Crazy.
Feel how heavy it is.
Yeah, that is.
I mean,
that is a solid.
This little
it's
piece
heavier
is
than
heavier
that whole body. Yeah. Oh God, yeah.
You can see how dense it is just by the grain. So I make fretboards out of this. That's where you get that really nice tone from the really hard fretboard. This is a tool that I use to put the slots in the fretboard. So basically I take I do this by hand. I take a Chinese saw. That's really precise, perfectly straight. And then I line this up in here with another tool, and the blade fits here.
And that's how you get the.
And
fret.
basically, it's how I get. And these fret lines have to be absolutely precise, so your guitar intonation will not work properly. So I use this tool basically, and it fits in a slot, and then I move to the next slot, move to the next slot, move to the next slot, and very gently use this as a guide. These bearing rollers will hit the top of this blade and give me the exact depth that I want, and I adjust the depth by these screws here. What this does is I mount this, and this wire comes in 2-foot lengths, and this is your fret wire, and you have to bend it at a radius before you actually use it. So it goes in here, and then you roll it, and it bends it.
Wow.
So that it fits. It has to be bent to fit the radius of your fretboard.
I see what you're saying.
You see the radius?
Bow,
yeah, this is a 12 inch. It's called a 12-inch radius. And then you press, but you have little dimples here on your tang. This is called a tang that fits into the board, and you press that in, and it locks it in. You use a little bit of super glue, and you press these in. Using a tool like this. This is called a fret press. It's slotted, so it grabs a hold of the top of the fret, and it's at a 12-degree angle, or a radius, and it presses in to the fretboard. And I use a drill press, so it basically, each piece is cut to a length. I put the super glue in, I lay that in there very gently, and then I press the fret in this way. Or you can use this tool here, which is even quicker. This is also a press. So you put the fret in, and you can press it with a set of vice grips.
Oh, wow.
So that's how you put the frets in. Okay, once you have the fret on, and this is glued on, you put the nut on, and you take this half sanded down pencil,
Oh my gosh.
and you let it ride on the frets, and you mark your nut. So imagine there's frets here.
So it's rolling over the
So
top
it's rolling
of
over the frets so that I'm getting the same exact 12-inch radius on my nut when I make my nut.
Which now matches the frets.
So there's my radius. Okay, so then I'll mark here and here, and now I know the width of my nut. Now there's your 12-inch radius, and now I'm going to put the slots in with the files.
And then you're going to file it down to that.
And how I sand it is on a beam like this with something that holds it, and I hand sand this to get the angle, and I just keep sanding it until it touches that line.
And that's it. That's how you get
Yeah.
that.
There's a
that
lot more
angle
to it
on
than
there.
that, but that's the basic idea of how you hand make a nut.
Right.
You get your 12-inch radius by using a half sanded pencil, writing on the frets to get your mark on your nut. This block of wood was 20 inches wide
Right.
by 14 inches width, and it was 8/4, which is a little over 2 inches thick.
Right.
It had on chalk on the top of it. It said Ernie Ball.
You're
And I
kidding.
went, "You guys giving this to Ernie?" He goes, "Yeah, we're going to sell this to Ernie. We're going to make guitar tops, electric guitar tops out of it." I said, "I got to have that piece of wood." I said, "That's the finest piece of KOA I've ever seen." He goes, "Yeah, we're selling it to Ernie." I go, "No, you're not. I got to have it." He goes, "No, Ernie hasn't
I
seen
know
it."
you.
I go, "Has Ernie seen it yet?" And they go, "No," but
I love it.
and I went, I got to have it. And
So that's the KOA top.
Winkler Woods in Honolulu. They've been selling KOA for 42 years. Second generation. Dad did it. They cut it. They got a plant in the Big Island.
Right.
And they get it from the forest up there when a tree falls, because you're not allowed to cut it unless the tree has fallen dead. Then they cut it. They have to get special permits to get the wood.
So it's KOA because it's Hawaii. Otherwise, it's acacia, right? Isn't it?
It's Hawaiian KOA. It's the only place in the world you can get wood that looks like this.
And this is the KOA top that came from the Big Island.
Yeah, you have to actually get special permits to haul it, cut it, and sell it. It's kind of Hawaii's national treasure. It's we don't have diamonds, gold. We got the beach and we got KOA.
You got good pineapples here.
Good pineapples.
So this is.
Anyway, this wood was scheduled to go to Ernie Ball to make guitars for him, and I talked Jorma, which is his name. He's the owner of Winkler Woods. I talked him into giving me this piece
Wow.
because I knew that these guitars would be special if I can just get this piece of wood.
You have no idea how special these guitars are.
Yeah.
Handmade by, this is the man himself, Don Bryant. I saw this guitar from 3,000 miles away. I flew over here to Hawaii day before yesterday. I got the chance to pick this thing up and play it, and I'm telling you, there is no other guitars like this anywhere in the world. I would put this up against any Gibson, any Strat, any Paul Reed Smith, any day of the week. Not to mention, I've known this guy since I was 12. I love you. Thanks, brother.
Yeah, no problem.